I poke bears.
Dillon Brooks might be the easiest player in the NBA to hate. To a lot of fans, he's not a superstar. He's not a franchise player. He's not even somebody people think about. Until he's in the middle of some drama, talking trash, or doing something that instantly goes viral. But that's exactly why Dillon Brooks matters. Because for all the jokes, all the memes, and all the hate, he built one of the clearest identities in the entire league. And whether you love him or absolutely cannot stand him, there's a reason people never stop talking about him. The easiest way to understand Dillon Brooks is simple. Most fans know the character before they know the actual player. They remember the trash talk, the stare downs, the technical fouls, the wild quotes, the moments that get clipped, reposted, and turned into jokes all over the internet. But before all of that, Brooks made his name in the hard way. He was physical, he was relentless, and more than anything, he was willing to do the one job that most NBA players don't really want. Guard the other team's best scorer. That's what gave him real value. Not flashy scoring, not superstar numbers, not crazy highlight plays. It was defense, toughness, and the willingness to be annoying on purpose. And in today's NBA, that kind of player always stands out. And honestly, there may not have been a better place for Dillon Brooks to become Dillon Brooks than Memphis. Because those Grizzlies teams were never built to be quiet. They were young, they were loud, they were emotional, and they were completely unafraid of attention. Ja Morant brought the explosiveness, Jaren Jackson Jr. brought the defense, and Dillon Brooks brought the edge. He fit that version of Memphis perfectly. The swagger, the confidence, the feeling that his team genuinely believed it could go at anybody in the league. And when that kind of energy works, it's electric. Fans love it when their team has personality. They love the celebrations, the confidence. Then came the moment that changed how most fans saw him forever. The 2023 first-round playoff series against LeBron James and the Lakers. And honestly, this was the perfect setup for drama. A young, confident Memphis team versus a veteran Lakers team led by LeBron. And right in the middle of it all, Dillon Brooks doing exactly what Dillon Brooks always does, leaning all the way into the role. After one of the early games in the series, Brooks said the line that would follow him for everywhere. I poke bears. And if that wasn't enough, he doubled down by basically saying he doesn't respect anybody until they give him 40. The second he said that, he becomes the story, not the game plan, not the matchup, not even the series itself, just Dillon Brooks versus LeBron James. And for a moment, that's exactly what he wanted, because this is the risk of building your identity around confrontation. When it works, you look fearless. When it doesn't, you became the punchline. As the series went on, Brooks stopped looking like a defensive irritant and started looking more like a target. The Lakers adjusted, LeBron stayed patient, the spotlight got louder, and every mistake started feeling bigger, because now, the entire basketball world was waiting for him to fall. Then came Game 3. Brooks got ejected after hitting LeBron below the belt, and from there, the whole thing just spiraled. By the time the Lakers won that series, Brooks wasn't being talked about like a tough defender anymore. He was being talked about like a meme, and in the NBA, reputations can change fast, sometimes even faster than the actual truth. And that's what made the next part so interesting, because after all the criticism, all the headlines, and all the jokes, the Houston Rockets still gave Dillon Brooks a real contract. And that told you everything, because teams inside the league clearly saw something that fans were starting to ignore. Houston didn't bring him in to be a star. They didn't bring him in to be a primary scorer. They brought him in because young teams need structure. They need physicality. They need somebody who can guard hard matchups, bring intensity every night, and set a tone that doesn't disappear the second things get uncomfortable. And that's what Dillon Brooks represented, especially under Ime Udoka, a coach who clearly values effort, accountability, and defensive pressure. For a young Rockets team trying to grow up fast, Dillon Brooks actually made a lot of sense. Not because he was perfect, but because his flaws were obvious, while his value was still real, and that's a big difference. And that's really the story of Dillon Brooks. It's not just that he talks too much, it's that his image becomes bigger than the actual player. That happens all the time in the NBA. A player gets reduced to one moment, one quote, One bad playoff series, one viral clip, and eventually, that becomes the only thing people remember. With Brooks, the villain label becomes so strong that it started erasing everything else: the defense, the effort, the physicality, and the fact that coaches still trust him to take the toughest assignments, the fact that teams still clearly see value in him, the fact that even when fans are laughing at him, somebody still has to deal with him on the court. And that's the weird thing about players like Dillon Brooks. They can be overhated and overrated at the exact same time. Too much noise around them, not enough honesty about what they actually are. And if you needed a reminder that Dillon Brooks is more than just a controversy machine, he gave one on the international stage. At the 2023 FIBA World Cup, Brooks played a major role for Team Canada, and in the bronze medal game against Team USA, he dropped 39 points. That didn't suddenly make him a superstar, but it did remind people of something important. For all the noise around him, Dillon Brooks is still a real competitor, and real competitors always find a place somewhere. And maybe that's why Dillon Brooks still matters. Because every league needs stars, but every league also needs tension. It needs personalities. It needs players who make games feel personal, players who talk, players who annoy people, players who can turn a random Tuesday night into something that feels way more emotional than it probably should. Not every villain has to be great. Sometimes, they just have to be unforgettable. And Dillon Brooks figured that out better than almost anyone. He may never fully escape the memes, the clips, or the reputation that follows him, but in a league where most role players disappear, he did the exact opposite. He made people remember him, and for better or worse, that might be the most Dillon Brooks thing possible.